Thank you everybody for being connected today for my session. Take a deep breath and dive into the Power Platform. So we're going to dive into these Power Platform tools that I'm sure you already know. Some of them maybe Power Apps, maybe Power BI, maybe Power Automate. So there are like 4 in these families, and I'm going to show you how to use them together to gain productivity and to save you time on your daily basis. So about me, my name is Galla Pupel. I am a business intelligence consultant and the founder of Pure Metrics, a consulting services company based in San Francisco. I have been a contributor and a speaker to the SQL Server user group in Paris and the Power BI user group in Montreal, Canada. And I am also a contributor at Le CFO Masqué. So I give training on Power Apps, Power BI, and Power Automate. So you can find my Twitter account and my LinkedIn account, so do not hesitate to reach me out. So then I'm going to start, and because I have a lot of things to show you today, so we're going to really go through all this Power Platform. You have heard of that. What is that? What does that do? How it can help me on my daily basis? So I will really focus on the link between those different tools, because what you see usually when in this kind of conference, what you see is like a focus on a specific element, on a specific tool. Let's say I want to deep dive into Power BI, or you will see some deep dive into Power Apps. But what I want to really show you today is like all those tools together and how they can work really well together. So because there is like a lot of scenarios we can do, they can fit very well together. They integrate very nicely, actually. So it's like a super way to show you how you can do new scenario. So I will explain the Power Platform. Then it will be like a very a heavy demo session. So I will show you how to use Power Apps, how to use Power Automate, and how to analyze data into Power BI. So for example, the kind of scenario you can do, you can embed a Power BI into a Power Apps. You can do the contrary. You can embed a Power Apps into a Power BI. You can trigger a Power Automate by a button in Power Apps. So you can refresh a dashboard Power BI directly into Power Automate. So you see all those tools work together, and there is a tons of scenario that you can do. And that's what I'm going to show you during my end-to-end demo session. So first of all, so I talk about that briefly, but what is the Power Platform? So this is a low-code platform. And there is like 4 members in this family. There is Power BI that you might know, which is like, I would say, the most known tool. So Power BI, it's not only a database tool. I know like Tristan is talking about that all the time. It's not only a database tool. This is really like a self-service BI tool, which means that you can do data extraction, you can do transformation, and you can, of course, you can use database to look at your data and create like great dashboard and reports, and you can share with others. But there is also like all the transformation, which is very, very powerful. I don't know if you have attended some of the sessions this morning from Marco Russo or other like data guru, but it's very, very powerful, and you can do a lot of things with Power BI and using this kind of tool. So Power BI is really, I would say, the analytics tool among the others. Then you have Power Apps. So Power Apps, I'm going to show you like an end-to-end solution today. So it's more like an application development. So it's like a full web big application, which allow you to create your own application. You can create your line of business application. You can create any kind of application, and everything is embedded into what is called the Power Apps Visual Studio, where you can create your application. You want to, let's say, for example, create an application to create like a ticket automation. You can do that directly in there. It's really like a solution to empower like non-techie, so you don't need to know code at all, to do their own application. And because it's already embedded into the Power Platform and into all the security of Microsoft, then you don't need to bother about the security or the authentication for your users, any of that. Everything will be already integrated. Then you have Power Automate. So this is the third one in blue. And Power Automate is, I would say, this is more like the glue which stick all of the others together. It's like a workflow automation tool. So using that tool, you will be able to do different activity. You will be able to schedule any task. You will be able to automatically save documents. You will be able to run any to insert data in a database. A lot of things. There is a lot of scenarios. And Power Virtual Agent, this is the new one in the family. I don't know if you had the chance to attend this morning the session with Chris, but he explained what is Power Virtual Agent. So basically, this is the solution to create bots, and this is how you can like very easily create bots for answer your clients and have all this kind of thing. But look at this session when it would be released on YouTube. I'm sure it would be super, super interesting. And then among that, you have like the data connectors. So the data connectors are shared about all the Microsoft Power Platform. And currently there is over 300 data connectors, which means you can connect to inside data, I would say, internal data with Microsoft related to SharePoint list. You can connect to SQL Server. You can connect to the CDS, anything of that. But you can also connect to external source. Let's say, for example, you have like a Salesforce. You are using Salesforce or MailChimp. You can use the data connector to connect to embed, to integrate, I would say, your data into your Power Platform tool. There is also AI Builder, which allow you to do like easily AI without having to know any kind of code. So you will be able to train algorithm to recognize like a specific item on a photo or this kind of thing. And the Common Data Service, which is shared also among the Microsoft Power Platform. So the Common Data Service, this is the database. This is like the cloud database, which is shared with Dynamics. And so with the Common Data Service, you can insert data. It's like a SQL Server, but in the cloud, kind of. And there is another one, which is not here, which is a data gateway. So the data gateway allow you to connect from your Microsoft Power Platform to your on-premises data, right? So yeah, this is it. This is like a full platform that you can use to really save time and gain productivity and so on. So I'm gonna show you like an end-to-end solution, so it will help you out to understand better what does the Power Platform do.
Gaia, excuse me, could you reduce the Teams window because it hides the slide? I don't know if you see.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Yes, please.
Is that better?
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So for Power Automate, so I'm gonna just focus on two of the tools because I assume you already know Power BI. So I'm gonna focus on Power Automate. So what is Power Automate? I explained it briefly. It really helps Power user to automate their tasks and processes. So get notification, you can synchronize files, you can collect data, you can also have approvals. In Power Automate, you can add approvals. So let's say in your software, you need to have like an approval to approve like a specific order or a specific purchase requisition. You will be able to do that with Power Automate. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Power Automate, like I said, it supports 300 connectors and over 100 templates. So the templates is like an easy way to do the flow, like the Power Automate by yourself. So it's already created the template, so you just have to run it up. And there is like a tons of templates. For example, easy template can be just, oh, I want to save my all of my attachments when I receive an email, or I want to synchronize my data with like an Excel spreadsheet. This is the kind of examples that you can have already pre-built template directly on the Power Automate platform. And like I say, it connects on cloud and on-premises data. So even if like you want to insert data into your SQL Server database, which is on your server in your company, you can use the data gateway to do that. So it would work too. So there is no more, I would say, border between cloud and on-premises. It's like sharing all the others. And Power Apps. So explain briefly what is Power Apps. So Power Apps help you to create your own line of business application. So line of business application is like to help you to answer a specific business need. So you can connect to multiple data sources. You can create application, forms, workflow without writing any line of code. And you will see the layout is very similar to what you have in Excel or what you have in PowerPoint. So even for like user, which are not, I would say, citizen developer, I will explain this term right after, which are not very familiar with code, then it will be like a very easy layout for you to understand how does that work. And then you can publish, I explained earlier, you can publish the application instantly on the web, on the phone, or on the tablet, because this solution is very good on phone. For example, let's say you have created your own application and you have like an AI builder to recognize like elements on a photo. You can just take a photo and like use all the power of Power Apps. So to develop your solution in Power Apps, you use the Power Apps Studio, which is not a desktop app at all. This is only in web, so it's in a web browser. And when you use that, you will be able to develop your application, deploy your application, publish everything. Everything will be there. So I'm going to show you during the demo. Basically, it's like I say, what can you do? You can create apps using existing data. You can use your internal, external data. You can also create apps to collect data. And this is a good point here, because what do you do usually when you in an app you create data? What do you do like in a CRM, or what do you do like an ERP? You insert data, right? So Power Apps will collect data that you have like your user, will be inserted, will be writing into the application, right? So it will help to collect this data too. So you can have two types of scenario: connecting to a data, create an app to collect data, or mix them. That's what we're going to do during the demo. And like I said, so you can use all your smartphone features such as camera, GPS, microphone, everything. You can really use all the power, I would say, of your mobile phone or tablet or your mobile device. And you can also create apps to call APIs, so REST APIs, to connect to your data source. So yeah, basically this is what it is. So I'm going to show you a demo because I think it's way better than talking about that during hours. So the demo I'm going to show you, we're going to start actually from Power BI, because like I explained at first, what I really want to show you today is how you can use all those tools together, because they work separately, of course. But the good thing is that you can use them together to enhance like new scenario. And so in that case, we're going to start in a Power BI. I'm going to show you an analysis I have done. And from here, we will integrate automatically like a Power Apps application. So let's go for the demo. Can you see the analysis? Is that correct? I am in the Power BI. Yep. Okay. So what I have done here is that I have created an analysis on Amazon, so the product catalog of Amazon. So that's why at the top you see like all the different type of category. Is that headphone, keyboard, mouse, printer. So I have like integrated those data into my Power BI, right? And then I have done I would say on top of that, I have done some analysis. And the analysis I have done is that I have gathered this information of product and catalog, but also I have gathered the information of like the reviews from the customers, and the title of the reviews, and the ranking, so the rank they have given for like a specific item. So in that case here, for example, you have a simple bar chart with like the average ranking. So let's say for like a specific printer, here I have the detail of like the top 10 products with like the ranking. So 5 is like the best and 0 is the worst, or 1. Then here you see like what is called a word cloud. So to do so, I have like used like a Azure API, which is called key phrase extraction from text analytics. Maybe some of you are aware of that. So I have just passed to Azure the reviews of my user, of the customer, sorry, and then it has extracted automatically some key phrase, so some words, and then I've created like the workload using the number of occurrences, the number of times that the word is like in the reviews. And here there is a top 20 product by average, so sentiment. So I have run the sentiment analysis. Maybe you're aware of sentiment analysis is Azure. This is like an API too that you can use. And then I send to the Azure directly my reviews, the reviews of the customers. I have sent it to Azure, and then he has sent it back to me, the sentiment. So it's like a rank between 0 and 1. So, and here on the right, you have just like a table, a very simple table with like the different product and the price, right? So let's say, for example, I want to do like a very quick analysis. I am a user and I want to just like do like an analysis to figure, okay, I need to order a printer, but I don't know which kind of printer I want to order. Then I'm going to just like click on my different printer, for example. And here I can look at it and figure that using the box plot, it looks like this one is like the best fit. So this printer looks like the best. But what can I do from here now? I have my analysis. I know this is a printer I wanna send for approval. But how can I do that here? How can like my Power BI can be more actionable? This is how I'm gonna show you how to do that. So we're gonna edit our report. And instead of having like this kind of table, which is just finally a list of like the different products, I'm gonna remove that. And I'm gonna add, maybe for some of you who knows Power BI, you have seen that. I'm gonna use the Power Apps for Power BI Canvas. And I'm gonna integrate directly into my dashboard a Power Apps application. So then my user will be able, from your Power BI, to directly go into the application, and not even go into the application because it would be embedded, but also they will be able to order a specific product directly from their Power BI. So everything is going to be embedded at the same point. So to do so, you need to select like the field that you want to send to Power Apps, because it will be kind of a live connection. So just be on your Power Apps and select the different elements that you have and the different fields that you want to send. Like this. So I have selected all the fields. So I have selected the field from my catalog directly there. And I'm going to use the specific environment, and I'm going to choose like an app, because I have already built like half of the app, and we're going to build the other half together. And you see here, Power BI say to you, hey, go to your Power Apps Studio to finalize your application. So I'm going to go to my Power Apps Studio. And the Power Apps Studio is like, this is where you are doing your configuration, and this is where you are actually creating your app. So this is like the studio I was talking about. So this is not a desktop app at all. It's not like, Power BI, you have like the desktop app and you have like the Power BI service. In Power Apps, everything is in the cloud. You don't have like a desktop app at all. So let's get like the studio to open. So it takes like less than 1 minute usually just to open the studio. And I'm going to show you from here how we are going to create the application, how we're going to add new elements in the application, and so on. So you're going to see that the studio is like the layout is very similar to what you have like in PowerPoint, for example, for PowerPoint user, or like what you can have into Excel. So I am in the studio right now. So what you see on the left here, this is all the different screens that I will have into my application. All you see on the right will be the properties for my specific component that I have selected. What you see at the top here, it looks like a formula bar. It's the same as Excel, right? So this is where we're going to add like some logic for all of our components. And here in the middle, you have your application. So you can start like doing that. So as you see, even if you are not a techie and you are like a business analyst and you used to work with Excel, then you shouldn't be like that much lost because it looks alike, right? And to show you that it's like a live connection, if I go back on my Power BI and I remove my selection, you will see that here I have like all my different printers. So because it's like live connected, you will see only the filter, the data related to the filter that you have in Power BI. But once you will publish the application, you will see all the other products. So this is my application, what I've built for now, because I started just like to be able to show you a maximum thing. So here is like all the fields, all the different products. I have my product, I have like the brand of my product. If I click on it, then I have the detail of my product, I have the price, I have the quantity, and here I can insert a reason for this purchase, right? So for now, I have like, I would say the first template, but what I am missing here is like the action to actually create a cart, which is called a cart, like to have all my different products into my cart and sell it as under approval. So we're gonna start and we're gonna add like this first element. So I'm gonna start by just adding a simple button here. So you see, this is very easy. Like I don't have to write any kind of code. I just add a button and this is it. It just shows up like here in my Canva. So here I have my button. Here you have all the properties that you can use for your button. And I'm going to show you one which is called to fill. So I want to put like a specific color for my button. So in this case, I'm going to use a formula because so when you are like working with Power Apps, you have to know like, I would say basic formula. This is not code at all. This is not like C# or Java. This is like much more like looking like formula that you could have in Excel or like in Power BI. So in that case, I'm going to use a function called color fade. So it will fade a color for a specific item. And I'm going to reuse like my header, which is the element over here. And I'm going to use dot fill, which is say, okay, I want to fill the color of my button with the color of my header. I'm just going to put like a percentage for the fade. And this is it. And you can see that now my button has the same color as my header. So this is very easy. Like I haven't done this kind of code. And if you wanted, you could also use the property here to add a different color. Just as a best practice, this is all the time nice to use like a header to fill like a color of a different button. So in that case, you want to change the color of your templates, you will be able to just change the color of one element to change all the others. So this is cool. I have my button, But now what I want to do is like, I want to collect this information that I have selected this specific printer, the quantity and the reason for this purchase. I want to collect all this information, kind of in a temporary table. For the one who do like a little bit of data, this is what I want to do here. I want to like trigger my button here to say, hey, when the user will click on this button, it will gather all the information from this page and will put that in like kind of a temporary table. And so to do so, there is like a formula which is called collection, and I'm going to show you how to use that. So first of all, I'm going to go on the property which is called onSelect. OnSelect is like basically what I want to select on my button when I click on my button, sorry. So it would be what will be triggered when I click on my button. And so I'm going to use the function which is called collect. So a collection, it's kind of a temporary table. So I'm going to create a collection which will be populated with like this specific screen. So let's do that. And I'm going to call my collection card collection. And I'm going to add like field to this collection because you can add as many fields as you want. And for example, I'm going to add my new field. So what I want to, let's say the first field I want to collect is like the product ID of my specific products. Let's do that. So let's put product ID. And here I need to pick only the specific product that I have filtered out, right? I just want to see like this specific printer. I don't want to have all the other printer. I just want to have the one I have selected. So to do so, I'm going to use like the card collect. I'm going to use like the gallery because I am currently on a specific gallery. And I'm going to use the function selected. So I say, okay, on this gallery, I want to select this specific item, and I'm going to show like only the product ID. So all the field that you see here, right? This is the field that we have sent from Power BI. So you find it then here directly. And I'm going to use like call the product ID. All right. So I am like creating this new column in my card collection. I'm sending this information, so the information of the product. I'm going to do the same for the other element I want to collect. So I have collected the product ID. What I want to do, I want to collect the image also. So I'm just going to replace that up. I want to also collect the product by itself. I just separate with comma, so you see it's like very easy to do so. So I'm collecting the product title, and I'm gonna add also the brand. So everything is coming from my Power BI, so I just reuse the same way to do it. And I also want to have the unit price. So I'm going to add the unit price. So I have my product, I have my unit price, I have my brand, I have my image. And now what I want to add is like also I want to be able to add the quality that the user has inserted here, right? And this is not coming at all from my Power BI. This is coming from somewhere else. This is coming directly from my application. And I can do that too. I can add quantity. So this is my variable. And I can just say, hey, I want to add the quantity. And which is very cool. I don't know if you can see that, is that each time I add a new element, a new component to be collected, then Power Apps automatically add color and help me to figure out which element I have inserted. So here, I don't know if you can see that. but you can see probably this is like purple, right? And here it's purple too, so it helped me to match and to know what I am actually doing. So I'm going to put like the text. And what I want to do also is that I want to be able to calculate what is called a subtotal. And you can do kind of calculation too in your collection. So I'm going to create like a variable called subtotal. And I'm going to say that I want to just multiply the unit price. So what I have here times and this is it. I have my subtotal. So this is very, very straightforward. And I'm going to add like a last element, which will be my current user email. You can also add like what is called context variable in Power Apps. So in that case, it will be my specific user and the email. And I'm gonna close my braces and like this. So I have finished to collect all my elements. So my formula is finished, is terminated. Here I have the card collection. So you can see like it's blue. No, it means it has been created. And what it's gonna do is like it's gonna gather all this information. So let's try it out. When you want to try like something in Power Apps, you can either use the play button that you see here, or you can also maintain the Alt keyboard, the Alt tab on your keyboard. Here in my case, I'm gonna just play and click on the button. So if everything works, I should be able to see my quantity, my price, and so on. So to look into your collection, you go here in collection and look at that. I have everything collected here. So it works perfectly fine. So that's cool. You see like very easily I was able like to create a button and to add the collection on it. And I'm gonna say now, okay, I have my collection, but let's now go to another tab, go to another screen, sorry, and I'm gonna go on the screen my card, which will be like all where I will have all my card. And to do like please remember all the time there is like, you must have a kind of a user experience. So in that case, I'm gonna navigate. So I'm gonna, from this button, I'm gonna navigate to another page, which will be the page called my card. And I'm gonna go to this page. So each time I will click on this button, I will navigate to the other page. So currently I was on this page, right? If I just do a brief recap, I have my main screen, I have my PR screen, and now I'm gonna go on my card screen. And what I'm gonna do on that screen is that I'm gonna add a gallery to show all the different elements in my cards, right? So to be able to do that, I'm gonna add a gallery. So this is like the different type of gallery. You can insert it automatically. I'm gonna add this type of gallery. All right, and here I'm gonna select a data source. And as a data source for my gallery, I'm gonna reuse the card collection, which is my temporary table, kind of, right? I'm gonna use that. Let's do a little bit of formatting. So let's map it properly. So here in my gallery, I see that I have different elements. So this is the default element that you have, but they are not properly mapped for my example. Let's do like this and like that. I won't take a lot of time to do that because I don't have the time. I have a lot of things to show you. But basically here, instead of, here I'm going to keep the brand. Here, instead of the quantity, I just want to show the product label, right? So this is very easy, as you can see. And here I'm going to use this item and I'm going to put the image of the product, right? This is there. So I'm going to just put the photo of the product. And I want to add new element too. I'm gonna add the number of items that I have put for like this specific product. So instead of that, I'm gonna put this item and I'm gonna put the quantity. So I have only ordered one quantity. What do I need to add again? I can add the subtotal, for example. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to click on text here, and I'm going to click on label. And I'm going to map directly on the subtotal. And I have my subtotal. I'm going to add like a latest element, which is the ability to delete my record if I want. So I'm going to click on icons and trash. And all right. And here I'm going to add like a small formula saying remove the card collection, which is my temporary table, and this specific item. So each time I will click on this button, it will remove my specific item. Right, so this is really easy, and I'm gonna add another button here, and we're gonna move forward. So let's try it out. If I click on this, it just deletes my card. Let's try to add like more printer. Let's say I want to add 3 of this printer, and this is it. Let's say I want to add like a Samsung printer, and I want to have 5 of those, and this is it, right? So this is super easy. Like you said, like in less than 10 minutes, I was able like to create a card very easily. I'm gonna add like the total of my cards at the bottom, and then we will move forward to see how I can send this information to like Power Automate. So let's click on the label, and here instead of this, I want to have like the subtotal of my card. So I want like all the item of my galleries, all the item I have selected to have like the subtotal and to sum it up. So to do this is pretty easy. I will just sum the card collection and the subtotal. This is it. So this is very straightforward and very easy. Like you say, it does not require to have any kind of code. I'm really amazed with this kind of tool. Like this is very nice. So I have like my different elements here. It sums it up everything. You can also do formatting if you want. I don't have the time right now. You can also do, if you want to do it properly, add a visibility in case like you don't have any item in your cart. Let's say you don't have any item in your cart and you want to put visibility to don't see anything. You can add that, like this kind of thing. So there is like a property called visibility. You can put the condition on it. I don't have the time to do it right now, but you can do a lot of things. Really, like without having to use code, you can already do a lot of things. So let me just add this. So I have my cart, and now what I want to do is that I want to be able to send my cart to another destination. I want to be able to, once my user has selected the different element it ordered, I want to be able to him to directly send this information to a Power Apps. So to be able to do that, I have added a button, and on this button, I'm going to use like a formula called clear collect. So what I'm going to do in my clear collect is that I'm going to gather the information from my cart. I'm going to add the information from the subtotal, the current user, and I'm going to send it all this information into Power Apps. So clear collect, I'm going to create like a new collection called cart total. And in that cart total, I'm going to say, I'm going to add a new column automatically. So, and here I'm going to say I'm going to add a new column to card collection. And I want to group by this element, by the way. I want to group by. So I want to group by my card collection, by my current user. Now, this is what I have created, right? So by my current user email, and I want to add that into details. So I'm going to create like another collection, which will be like kind of the header, right? And from this header, it will drive me to the line level, which is my card. So let me just do that very quickly. And actually, I'm going to add another column called total. And which will be like the sum, so the subtotal, which would be the sum of my card collection, subtotal, all right. Okay, so let's try it out. I'm going to show you how does it look. When I click on the button, what do I have now? I have two different collections, and my card total collection is like the subtotal of my card, right? So everything that I have in my card for my current user. And when I click on detail, I have the detail. So I have the different items that I have in my card, right? So I have everything here. So this is like kind of easy. So it's like a header and an item. That's what you have usually when you do an invoice or order or purchase requisition. You have all the time the header and you have the lines. So I have my information here. What I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to send this information into Power Automate. So let's click on Power Automate. So click on your button, click on Power Automate. And I'm going to create a new flow. So you see, I was like from Power BI, now I am in Power Apps, and now I'm going to go into Flow. And I'm going to send this information to Flow directly. So I'm going to click on Create a New Flow. And here it's going to open the Power Automate. So it's called a flow. It's like the flow by itself. So the formerly name was Microsoft Flow. It has been changed to Power Automate last year, yes. So yeah, now it's called Power Automate. So here you have all the different templates that you can use. Like I said, there is more than 100 different templates. So there is a lot. And the one that you see currently, it's only the one using Power Apps button. So this is like already existing template that you can use very easily. So in my case, I'm going to use just the Power Apps button, but look at that, there is a lot, like with sending an approval email and follow up by email, execute a stored procedure in SQL, and on Power Apps button click. You see, there is a lot of templates you can use. So please, after this demo, if you have time, just like try to log in and look at what you have in Power Automate, because there is like a lot of things you can do. So in my case, I'm going to click on my Power Apps button. Oh, I am not signing. Let me just connect. Yes. You need to be connected because the connection is like through all the different tools. So here I am on my so he has filtered on my specific template, right? So let him go and load it out. All right. Just be careful if you are using different environment like I do, to be on the right environment, because as you might know, environment are in silo. So if you are like doing something on a specific environment, then you won't be able to see it on the other environment. So let me redo that to be sure that I will be on the right environment. I don't want to create on the wrong one. So I'm click on the Power Apps button, and it's going to refresh, and I'm going to see my trigger. Here we are. So here it's my trigger. It's like when you are clicking on specific on the button in Power Apps, I will trigger the flow, right? And I'm going to add a new step here to say, to use like initialize the variable. So I'm going to initialize the variable to say card collection. So I'm going to call my variable card collection. The type will be a string. And in the value, I'm going to zoom a little bit here, asking Power Apps. So I'm going to trigger with the button my flow, right? And here, what I want to ask back to Power Apps, it's to say, hey, Power Apps, send me the information here, and I will put this information into the variable. So I'm going to ask in Power Apps. I'm going to save, just like that, very easily. And here you can see that now you have the button. So this is good to give like a good name to your button anytime in case of. So I'm going to click on that. And here I'm just going to add what I have in my collection. And I'm going to say to the run. So you can see here, run. This is what it says. So run the Power Apps button. The flow, the Power Automate flow, and send the information. And you can see initialize the variable. This is what I have here. So all the two are connected together. And here I'm going to just send in JSON my card total. That's it. So let's try to see if it works good. So I'm going to click. Just quick question, Chloe. Do I have like 10 minutes left? Is that correct?
Yes, of course. 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Great, thanks. So I'm going to click on the button here. And let's go in my flow. And look, success. So it means the flow has been has run successfully. And here you can see what it has been sent. And this is the JSON because I am using JSON to send the information directly into Power Apps. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to continue my flow. So it means that works. Like currently, Power Apps using data from Power BI, it's sending the information to flow. I'm going to click on edit and I'm going to use like another action which is called parse JSON, because as you might have seen, everything is like in a JSON, like in JSON format. So what I want to be able to do at the end is like split this JSON format, splitting this JSON into separate fields. So I will be able to use this different field into my Power Automate. So I'm going to use parse JSON. My content, which content I'm going to use that? I'm going to say, use my variable card collection. And to generate the schema here, I'm just going to generate from sample. And what I have done is that I have copied what was the output of my Power Apps, and I'm going to paste it here and click on done, and it will automatically create the schema for me. So I find all the different properties and so on. So I'm going to save. And I'm going to test it again. So there is two different ways to test. I'm going to perform the trigger, and I'm going to send directly the result of my element, so the result of my button. So let's run the flow. So this is good when you want to test. So test succeeded. Just you can easily test and run and test. So this is pretty straightforward. Okay, so I have all my elements here. What I want to add now is like, I want to be able to add a condition saying, hey, if my cart, the total of my cart is over $1,000, I want to be able to, I want to create an approbation, and I want a specific person of a group of person to approve this specific PR, right? So you can do that very easily. And I'm going to add the control, and I'm going to add a condition. So when I add the condition, I just click. So I just click, I choose like the specific connector I want to show and the condition, and boom, I have my if yes, if no, and here I can set up my condition. So when I click on choose a value, I have like a dynamic content which show up, and you can see here that I have all the different steps, and this is all the different fields in the step. So in that case, I'm going to use the total, which is the total of my cards, right? And automatically, Power Apps use like a loop kind of apply to each to be sure that it will apply this condition on each different card, total of cards that I have. As I will have only one card per user, I will all the time have only one element in that case. But if you have like multiple rows, for example, or if you have like, we will see after that, different item, like I have, like it will do a loop, and it will loop on each of the item. So I'm going to say if the total is over 1,000, then what I want to do, I want to send an approval. So to send an approval, I'm going to use the approval here and certain wait for an approval. So there is different kind of approval. Oh, I won't have the time to go through all of them, but the one I'm going to use is that. Right. So this one will start, so it will trigger the approval, and then it will wait for it. The other one will just create it and wait. So you can create it and put any other step in between and then wait. But me, I'm going to use that one. So the approval type, I will use first to respond. So the first one will respond, and please, and in the title, I'm going to go, please approve this PR. And here I can add like a dynamic content. I can add the total, for example, of my PR. Here to assign to, I'm going to assign to a specific user, but you could assign like a group too. This is like a workaround, because currently, correct me if I'm wrong, but it does not support the Office 365 group. So, but there is a workaround to achieve that goal if you need. But currently I'm sending to like a specific user. All right. So let's save and see how it is. So what should we do? Should be doing that flow. It should go directly in the yes, because my cart is over 1,000. So let's test it. So my flow has started, and you see here there is no green. This is the way you see like or your step has been successfully or not. And here there is nothing because it's like waiting. So I'm gonna connect to the webmail, sorry, of my specific user, which is Alain Monnier. And look at this. Please approve this PR, and this is it. So I have received the approbation directly in my email. So I am able as a user to approve like from with three different ways. It can be per email, it can be on your phone, or it can be through the Power Automate portal, right? And so I'm going to click on approve. I'm going to go back here, and you see your flow has run successfully. It means it worked. Let's look at it. And yes. So I have been able, like in less than 20 minutes, to create an application, to start sending some information to Power Apps, then to add like created a workflow to allow or not the peer to to be approved or not. And so I'm going to continue basically like the time I still have just to add. So let's say when I have the approbation, I'm going to insert the data into the common data service. So I'm going to insert my purchase requisition directly into the common data service. So I'm going to create a new record in my table order because it means like my order has been accepted. Right? And here you can map direct all the elements. So in that case, I'm just going to put like fake data, but let's say here I can map directly the item price using my dynamic value, and I can use the unit price coming from my price JSON, so coming from my per apps, and my quantity as well, everything. So here you have all your elements, so you can map easily. It looks like a kind of a ETL for those who used to who know ETL. It's like you are mapping the different fields all together. And here I'm going to put my product ID. Right. So I save that, and then it will automatically add the record into my database. And there is something very good that I can do also is that I can, you remember how did we start this demo? We start in Power BI. And what I have done in Power BI too is that I have created another dashboard. Yeah, I'm going to save that up. I have created another dashboard which is based on the CDS, so this database, to analyze my budgets. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to add a refresh to this dashboard. So Power BI, and I'm going to refresh this specific dashboard. So my workspace, sorry, this will be the one, and this is it. So each time that the user will trigger and will add like a specific, create a specific PR, it will go through the approval, then it will insert the data if the approval is yes into my CDS, so into my database, but I could have like an Excel file, I could have like anything else, like I picked the CDS, but I could have any other destination output. And here at the end, so this is in preview, I will be able to refresh my Power BI, which is based on my CDS. So you don't need anymore to refresh, to put like a scheduled refresh on your Power BI to refresh like every day at specific hour or this kind of thing. You can just refresh once the data has been added into the database. So I'm going to quickly redo a test to show you that it works. I will perform the trigger to continue like that. All right, I will run the flow. So I'm going to go back here to see if I have received specific approval. And yes, and I'm going to approve. My flow is running, and it has run successfully. So I have inserted the data. So here you can kind of debug and see what happened. I have inserted the data directly in my database, in my CDS, and I have refreshed my dataset on the portal. So everything is like all connected together. This is super cool. So you can have like a full scenario. If I go back here and I show you like up the catalog template, how it is like in my Power BI. Now my Power BI is very actionable, and I am able to directly from here start like a new PR. So I really succeeded to do what I wanted to do, which is like to be actionable and from one place to be able to order a specific item, and then at the end of the road, refresh my dashboard. Yes. So thank you so much. So I kept like 5 minutes for the questions. So do not hesitate if you have any question. I hope you really like this demo. And because I really enjoyed to prepare this demo, it was very fun, even if I'm coming from the data more landscape. This is like very cool to use like all these Power tools, I would say the Power Platform tool, because they are like super interesting and like super powerful. So even you do not hesitate to try it out. There is a kind of a free licensing called the community plan. So do not hesitate to try it out for free and just like send me like your feeling on it. Did you like it? Do you have any question? Feel free to reach me out. Thank you, everybody. Is there any question?
Gaia, there is some question in the chat if you want to answer.
Sure. All right. So there is like a question on the certification. La certification Power Platform, c'est comme si vous êtes certifié comme ces 3 produits. Donc, il y a une certification Power Platform. Je ne sais pas si elle est sur l'ensemble des outils. Je sais qu'il y a des certifications, surtout que Microsoft a complètement changé son licensing. Et aujourd'hui, donc, on peut être certifié sur, par exemple, la dernière de Power BI qui est la DA100, qui permet d'être certifié seulement sur Power BI. Au niveau de Power Platform, je ne sais pas si tu sais, Chloé, s'il y a une certification globale qui permet justement de se former aux trois outils, d'avoir une certification pour ces 3 outils. À ma connaissance, non, c'est des certifications dédiées pour chaque outil.
À ma connaissance, oui, c'est une certification pour chaque.
Exact.
Ouais.
There is a question in English. What are the limitations in terms of number of rows collected while using a collection in Power Apps? So the limitation is like 500 records by default. You can extend to 2,000 records. And if you use like the delegation, you can go through 10,000 records, if I'm correct. But the collection will be limited by default to 500 elements. Donc, limitation à 500 éléments juste avec la collection. Mais sinon, 2000 éléments au total, voire 10 000 si on utilise la délégation. Donc, c'est-à-dire si on fait travailler la source de données qui récupère la donnée. Oui, les collections sont temporaires. Collection is temporary only for the user session. That's right. If we use perhaps Premium connector, all user would need a specific license. I would say if you use perhaps Premium, it depends. There is different kind of licensing in perhaps. There is the per flow or there is the per user. So if you use the there is the per application or there is the per user. If you use the per application, then you will only need 1 license. I'm so bad at the licensing. Is that correct, Chloé? In case of si tu as la licence Power Apps Premium par utilisateur, est-ce que les utilisateurs qui vont utiliser ton application ont tous besoin d'avoir la licence? Je ne crois pas. Je pense qu'ils peuvent tous avoir accès à l'application sans problème. Par contre, s'ils veulent la modifier, en effet, je pense qu'ils auront besoin d'avoir une licence.
Oui.
Okay. For the refresh of dataset in Power Automate, it works just for Power BI service or also for Power BI report server? No, le refresh. So the refresh is only for the Power BI service, not the report server for now. Il me semble que la certification PL englobe Power Apps. OK. Edouard qui nous dit que la certification PL 900 englobe Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI et Power Agent. Cool. how could I interface this with Teams? There were like a session just before me about Teams, how you can use Teams to integrate with Power Apps. So I would recommend Miguel to watch the session. I don't remember who was the speaker of the previous session, but he's talking about how to interface everything with Teams. So I'm sure it will answer your question. All right. So thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate to do this session. Please feel free to reach me out if you have any other question. Et merci Chloé pour la session également.
Ouais, merci beaucoup. Merci à tout le monde et merci à nos sponsors et pour cette belle session, Galla.
Merci beaucoup.
Bonne journée à tous.
Bonne journée, bonne session.
Bonne session.
Bye.